Welcome to the I Love Coaching podcast, where we believe coaching solves everything.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the I Love Coaching podcast. We are live in the I Love Coaching headquarters here in Charleston, South Carolina, and I have my man Tyler right next to me. And this is going to be a fun interview. This is going to be a fun podcast because not only are we standing next to each other, we've been working together for how many years, actually? About 3 years.
3 years.
How long have you been in Dana's life recording her?
4.
4. Okay, great. So, Tyler, introduce yourself. Tell the world who you are.
I'm Tyler. I'm also a video person and a photographer and a content creator. And I mean, if you have a budget, I'll make something for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's really kind of where I'm at right now.
And a damn good job with that you do.
Yes, that is. One day I'm going to believe it when people tell me that.
Well, if you don't believe him, go check out one of my videos. So, Tyler, I hired Tyler. This is probably about 3 years ago? About 2 or 3 years ago.
I think it was like the first thing that I worked on with you.
So, a fun story. So, when my father passed, he left to myself and my siblings an Indianapolis 500 race ride-along opportunity. And so, living here in Charleston, I knew Tyler was you were in Indiana.
Yep.
And so, gave you a little jingle and said, hey, listen, I'm doing this on this date. Cancel everything else because I want you to record everything that we did.
That was cool.
And you did. And so, you can go check that out on my YouTube channel, Adam R. Roach. You can go see that, my video ride-along that Tyler did the entire thing. And boy, that was a fun trip.
That was cool. It was fun because I've never done anything like that before. But if you have seen any of like the vlogs that we've made for Dana and Josh in Kentucky, Adam's popped by. But so I'm like used to documenting people and kind of following along and doing that stuff. But never have I ever went to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and filmed somebody in an Indy car. So I was gonna say that was a first, and that was cool. It was fun to put that together because it was just so different.
Right, and what I love that you did there is you made it a story.
Yeah.
Right. So the whole thing became a story, and the video was just a very great. Just a great note, not only honor to my dad because that's what he wanted us to have, but the storyline for the whole family was so easy to follow.
What was your initial reaction after watching that first cut? I think it was the only cut. I don't think you had any changes, which is also the best thing ever.
Yeah, we didn't have any changes. What was my first initial reaction?
Yep.
Like tears.
Where were you? So where did you have tears at? Where were you when you watched it?
Where was it? That's a great question. Probably at home.
Just at home chilling?
Yeah.
Just one dude crying and
one dude crying. Watching the video over and over and over. You know what I think I did? I actually watched it on my phone. I thought, damn, that was so good. I had to then put it up on the TV. So I might have just cried once and then maybe cried a second time. And then I might have sent it to my sister and then we might have cried together. So yeah, thanks for making us all cry.
That's good. I'm going to start crying right now.
Okay, now walk us through. Who's Tyler and how'd you get to this spot?
So you were born, then what?
That's right. That's my favorite question.
I've been listening to Adam for 3 days now. And so I've been at the headquarters here, and so I was editing some of the stuff that we were making, and there's been so many conversations happening all at once, and I think it's like a skill set that you just have to get used to when you are talking to one person on your phone. I like hold the phone up like they actually hold phones now.
Right.
But there's conversations happening everywhere, and I was blown away by how busy Adam usually is. You had so much stacked over and over that I was just I was getting the benefit of getting to listen to him not interview people, but like ask questions. It was really what coaching is all about, is asking good questions. And I heard him say, I bet if I heard it once, I heard it 10 times, oh, that's a good question. And then just like a big sigh would happen. And so I would just watch that and observed it. I've heard about it happening, but I got to observe it, and I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So
you were born in then what,
so
right?
I was born then what? So I was born in Nebraska, moved to Indiana. My brother raced race cars, and then eventually that stopped. And then so I followed his footsteps. I tried selling real estate, actually. I hated it. Yep. I was like, nah, I'm good. Yep. I got my license, and I was like, this is going to be something. And then I started making phone calls, and then I started doing all the stuff that you coach people to do, and I was like, nah, I'm still good. I'm still good. And so then I was like, okay, well, let's figure out what we can do to. I was kind of like in this quarter life crisis, if you will. And Kate, my wife, was carrying me through that time. And then she got fired from her job. And so that was cool. And then we were able to like, well, let's just kind of figure out what we can do to hustle up some money. I had just gotten like some cheap camera because I was like, I think I could get into photography. And
what year is this, by the way?
2015.
Okay.
Fall of 2015.
Okay.
And yeah, so she knew how to build websites and kind of do some graphic design stuff, and I was learning how to use a camera at that point. It was about one very poor year later that I was like, oh, I can start doing real estate photos. And then so I started doing real estate photos and kind of learning how to use a camera on the job. And then one thing led to another. I started doing videos. If you're familiar with anything in Indiana and any real estate agents, Eric Forney, I started documenting him for a year and kind of getting an opportunity to watch somebody that does like 50 million like over and over and over again.
Right.
And I got a chance to just document him. I would go along with him. We would film, and basically he would go to present. And that was one thing I realized is a thing within the Keller Williams world, at least, was they would go and kind of people would teach each other stuff. And so we would kind of travel around the country, and he would speak, and then I would make video recaps of that. I'd like take some of that, make it into short content. One thing led to another. Dana saw the work. Dana was like, hey, you want to come make videos for us?
Right.
And then now I'm here.
Now you're here. And I actually remember when, by the way, if you're hearing any chomping, it's not us chewing our gum. We have Charlie the dog right down below us. In the headquarters,
very fitting,
chewing a bone. So this is a very organic, very organic conversation here.
Yep.
So I remember when you came on board with Eric, and I actually might have seen you at one of the KW family reunions, following him around.
Yep, New Orleans. Yeah.
Maybe New Orleans.
Yep.
You look like you were hungry.
I probably was. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a picky eater, so I think that was the first time I got to experience a huge event, and for some reason we ended up somewhere where they were trying alligator. I was like, it's gonna be a long wait.
Yeah. Did you eat any?
I tried it, and that was about all I did.
That's about all you had?
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's go back to this. So you went, sorry, we're shutting it open and closing the door there. So you went from pictures then to video.
Yes.
Okay, so walk us through that transition. Was that a learning curve there? Was it, what was that like?
Definitely, yeah, I would say there's a learning curve. You always want to make sure, okay, I just was making sure this is recording because I always have that fear. Because you learn by just doing it over and over again, at least that's the way I found I'm learning the best is just by doing it. And then you realize, oh, I should have probably made sure the audio jack was plugged in. And so you learn that really quickly, like when it doesn't record audio or when you have a speck of dust on your sensor. And so it's not until you get to experience that panic that you don't make those mistakes again. And then you always know what to check for then. So I've learned that is always kind of happening, and you just kind of have to roll with it. But it's easy to overcomplicate. There's so many videos out there that teach you how to do it that it can be very overwhelming at first. And so that's where I think I naturally kind of fall towards the document then create model.
Document and create.
Yeah. So Gary Vaynerchuk is a content creator, and so he originally was like one of the OG content creators where he had somebody. He hired a videographer to follow him around. Okay. I first was exposed to him in 2015, and I was like, oh, it'd be really cool to do that sometime with somebody. And I was like, that was during that really poor year that I was telling you about. And I saw that, and I was like, I want to be his D-Rock, is the guy's name. And I was like, that would be really cool to do. Right. And then it wasn't until 2018 then I was able to kind of be doing what D-Rock was doing. But I feel like I had to jump through all the hoops of learning how to use a camera. But that's where listing photos came in really handy, because we started running, I'd say, we'd run about 50-ish a month or so.
Okay.
And you really learn how to use a camera when you're doing
50-ish
that.
what?
50 listing photos.
50 listing photos. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we would have, during peak season, it'd be pushing 60 in a month. And so it was, and that business just grew all from referral. So we just would, because we realized, I knew growing up around realtors as well, that it's all about being able to answer the phone and get to them and serve them as fast as possible.
Right.
Like that's, you just answer the phone and you have a business that way.
Right.
And so we just did that, and we did that for a long time. And yeah, so enough to be burned out from it. And I don't want to take pictures of houses anymore.
So what would
But
you
you
tell
learn.
someone listening or watching right now that wants to get into, let's just say, the video world?
Yeah.
If you give them the top 3 tips that could help them go faster,
Yeah.
what would you give them?
Film your pets if you have a pet. I have lots of footage of my dogs. I have footage of Kate cooking in the kitchen, or I've got footage of me editing. I just film everything because then you're doing the process of filming.
Okay.
And I feel like that's just the best way to learn, because like I was saying earlier, you can watch every tutorial, read every book, and you're not gonna, until you actually just put what you're reading and learning and watching into action, it's just that.
So just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah, and
Gotcha.
so like film everything. There's so much footage that I have. Just home movies is what we used to call them, but now we call them vlogs.
Vlogs,
and now,
right?
So it's
Yeah.
that. So I find myself just kind of documenting everything, and I feel most comfortable behind a camera, and whenever I'm doing that, I'm pretty stoked. So
Okay.
you gotta try that.
So just do it. Just pick up your camera and just start doing something.
Literally just do it. And now the iPhones are so good. Like phones are so good now. Like that would be like my one piece of advice. A second is figure out how to edit. If you don't like to edit, then find somebody that does. I have a love-hate relationship with editing where I can get into it, but I'm going to procrastinate clean, and I'm going to do a lot of other things before I actually get around to doing it. So it's kind of nice being here. I was able to live edit and then show Adam everything that we were doing. Right. So that was a first for this trip. I've never been able to like live edit and get live feedback, and then like this project that we just got done is going to be done.
It'll be done quick.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, there's just a few more things to add.
Just a couple of things. I'm stoked about that.
So now let's transition to, we had the love of photography, the learning process. We had the transitioning to video.
Yep.
And now let's go into social media.
Yeah.
Yeah. So social media is a platform that you've been playing in and are constantly growing and learning in. What's the draw there? Outside of all of our draws in the voyeuristic world to see what other crazy people are doing, what is your draw specific to your profession?
That's a great question, and I will have to say it's probably the short form content that we are leaning into more and more. Attention spans have always been really low, and so it's always been.
Let me pause you real quick.
Yep.
Short form meaning
short form content, like I'm talking hella short, like under a minute.
Okay, gotcha.
Under 30 seconds.
Okay.
And so I really enjoy that kind of, because that's probably what draws me to it, because then I learn a lot of editing hacks like on TikTok. So I've really, like my algorithms on my Instagram and TikTok feeds right now are very geared towards like photographers and videographers and how to edit and how to do this, or social media tips and a lot of that stuff.
Okay.
And so I'd say what actively draws me to it is kind of I get kind of creative inspiration from other creators that are out there. And then I'm kind of like, oh, I could probably try doing something like that. And so right now, as of March 16th, I'm really into, I got this new deck of cards. That's like a green deck of cards. And it's similar to like a green screen, so that you're able to kind of put whatever you want on that. And I am like on a kick right now of just putting whatever footage I have on a deck of cards. Yeah. And so it's fun finding new ways to create different kinds of content on different platforms, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work. Right. And just doing it.
Gotcha.
I think that's important.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen what he's talking about, go check his Instagram out. Go check out or his TikTok.
Yep, Producer Tyler.
Yep. and producer Tyler, and check it out. So he literally holds a deck of cards. Not to mention, you can do some really twirly things with some cards.
I twirl cards. I don't do magic tricks, but I definitely
twirl
just
cards.
I wasn't sure. We were watching one of the edits earlier, and I had a deck of cards with me. I was like, man, I just don't want to drop this deck right now because I know he's watching. I'm trying not to distract him, but like I need to fidget with something.
And you're good at it. But check this out. So he has these green cards, and what he'll do is he'll do well. You tell him what you do.
Yeah, so I'll just put in Ultra Key using Premiere Pro, and then I just lay the footage under a layer, and that's how you do it.
Yeah,
I'll put a video over this while I'm doing it in post.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, the video goes into the deck of cards.
It's crazy.
It's pretty cool.
And then like with Instagram Reels and TikTok and like the ultra short form content that's out there, like 7 to 8 seconds.
Right.
I'm finding that that's what performs the best.
Really?
And especially stuff that loops. Like if at least for me, I love when a video just perfectly loops. I think that's like one of the most oddly satisfying things to see, because then you're like, oh damn, I'm watching this video for the 3rd time already. I didn't even realize it. So I always think that stuff's kind of fun. But,
and so again, pretend I'm a layman guy, which I am here. What's a loop?
A loop is when you're watching a video and then it ends in the exact same way that it starts. So then you're just kind of like, you literally realize you're watching it all over again, and you're like, damn, that was smooth. And so that's like one of my favorite things to do. Okay. But yeah, like 7 to 8 seconds really pops things off, and that's what I've noticed on both Instagram and TikTok. So if you are thinking about videos, I would really lean into how can I get my message across within 7 to 10 seconds.
Gotcha.
Which I think you usually want to do that. It's always been like hook people with the first 3 seconds and then get into your message. Now it's kind of hook them, keep them, and then expect them to scroll keep them for a couple of more seconds.
So let's go down this path here real quick. So the hook means what in the social media platform world?
Yeah, so 3 things that you should probably know about Adam is he can bench press 225 very easily. He can do pull-ups very quickly, and he is a good motivator when you're working out with him. So 3 things.
There's the hook.
Yeah. So something I wish I knew before I came to Charleston was they stack boats up on things. I've never seen that. So I feel like so culture shock sometimes, where I'm just like, I don't get out of Indiana or the Midwest very much, but when I do, I'm always like, so that's a thing. And so that happens. So a hook is, so for your industry, it could be something, let's say you're in real estate, something I wish I knew when I first started real estate. And then you cut away to whatever the lesson might be.
Right. So in the real general sense, a hook is keeping them there.
Yeah.
So almost like a fishing.
You're casting it, and yeah,
hook
you reel them in. You reel them in with that content that's actually valuable. I think valuetainment is the...
there you go. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Valuetainment. Okay, now what? So you've hooked them. They're watching. They're scrolling.
Yep.
What do you want to do with them now?
And then hopefully they like, comment, and follow, like everybody watching this right now will do.
Right.
And then that's the experience, and that's why you post again the next day, and you do it in stories, and then you do it on TikTok, and you do it on your other platforms. I say find two platforms that you enjoy making videos on or taking photos with. TikTok's all video, but I would say if you can just find two to stick with, one is a good starting place, but find 2 because it kind of keeps your gears turning if you are kind of looking for content. Because then you kind of see what people are doing on one platform, and then you see how it translates into another. Yeah. So being able to get just general engagement, I think, is important. That's kind of at the stage where I'm at right now. Is I feel like I need to walk the walk when it comes to content creation, because also then I have a little bit more empathy for the people in front of the camera when I'm filming them, so I can give them better direction when I'm behind the camera, because I know when you got a light on, you got a camera, and you're not used to talking to lenses and things like that, it can be kind of overwhelming, and especially if you don't do it often. So if you just start going back to just doing it, if you just simply kind of start recording yourself and you watch yourself and you edit yourself, you really learn a lot about yourself. But also once you're doing that, you can kind of find out what you like making, what comes more natural to you, rather than like trying to force something. It's very easy to spot something, like when you're like, oh, this person they don't believe what they're saying.
Right.
Yeah, I think you can see
just
that.
being inauthentic.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is.
Would you, of the two, so you're telling people 2 platforms, choose 2.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we're talking video,
Yeah.
what would you say are the 2 platforms they should play or stay in? If we're talking video.
So I'm going to say it depends on the industry, but
Okay.
I will say if you are, give me a parameter. Like, what would you say most of your audience that's watching?
Boy, we're very entrepreneurial.
Very entrepreneurial.
Mm-hmm.
Then Instagram for sure.
Okay.
And then I would split the 2 between TikTok and or Facebook. So Facebook is still, a lot of people like to kind of shit on Facebook, saying it's like it's not around anymore. But I still have some clients that get leads from their Facebook videos that they post, and they'll post teasers to a YouTube video where the full length video is. Right. And so I'm a believer in the like pillar content. So what you'll do is you create one big piece of content. I like to put that content on YouTube. Okay. Because people, when they go to YouTube or they're searching for something, they're there to watch something. Right.
Now, big means length of time.
Yeah, big means length, and so I'd say anything 5+ minutes. Okay. That's where I would say that kind of a video lives. Okay. And then you take little teaser videos from that, and then so teaser videos would be something like a 60-second video, maybe something like you would see on any of the social media pages from Adam or Dana, Everything Life and Real Estate, this podcast. You'll see quick little teasers that just kind of give people an idea of like, oh, they talked about this week. Gotcha. And so that's important to put on Instagram, and then now TikTok. Gotcha. Yeah, very so I'd kind of just break it down into kind of knowing where the audience is. And then also another tip, I guess, would be pay attention to your own usage habits. What do you kind of find yourself going to when there's a commercial on TV? Yeah. What do you kind of just go to when you are like just kind of bored and just sitting around? What are you scrolling on? Sure. And then what do you go to? Gotcha. So then it's kind of like those forms you're probably going to be more familiar with. Right. So then you can create content for them a little bit easier because you're kind of familiar with everything that's happening on that platform. Right. Yeah. And then there's a lot to choose from now. So picking 2 is great advice. Yeah. Just pick 2, and then if one works, great. If another one works, that's awesome. But if they both don't work, you just keep going. So fast forward now. So we're here. It's 2020. Let's go 25. That's 3 years from now. Yeah. What have you accomplished? What have you done? What are you excited about? I can't believe I have over 1 million subscribers on YouTube at this point. It is nuts. It's been crazy. TikTok really blew up for me, but YouTube's where I'm living. Okay. Yeah. Got it. Long form content, because that's where my viewers they're engaged with me. I can just. The edits don't have to be so succinct where the cuts have to be so quick just to capture your attention. You're there because you want to be there. Gotcha. 1 million. 1 million. Why not? Yeah. Why not? So then maybe 2. Yeah. I mean, you're going for 100 million lives changed. Correct. Yes. So I technically should probably go for like 101. Okay, 101,000. We'll get to 1 million. We'll get to 1 million. Yeah. Well, this has been good. So anything you want to leave these people with? How can they find you? How can they hire you? What can they do? Yeah. How can they send you to Hawaii? Yep, there's that. Okay. I would say don't reach out to me if you haven't done videos before and you want to just pay somebody to make you look good on camera. That doesn't work. I've tried that before with people, and it shows up on camera that you don't like being on camera. So if video, just because you're being told video is the way to go and is what you should be doing, doesn't mean you should do it. There's plenty of different avenues of creating content. And that could be from just an audio only podcast. That could be from typing out a blog, or just showing up consistently on Instagram or TikTok or any social media platform just by using it. That's like really the best. But otherwise, if you want to hire me, DM me on Producer Tyler on Instagram and or TikTok, and eventually I'll get back to you, and we will we'll see. I'll probably ask you a couple of questions and see if we're a good fit. And but yeah, I would say try making videos on your own before you hire somebody. Gotcha. Then you're gonna then you're gonna learn a lot about what you like and what you don't like. Perfect. Nice. Well, everybody,
This has been real.
That's been real
This
fun.
has been real fun at the I Love Coaching podcast. Here we go. And I'm excited to see all the stuff that we've been working on all week.
Same.
I mean, we've already seen it because we've been editing it
has
the last
been
couple
nice.
of days. It's been fun.
It's going to be nice polishing up. I'm going to be working on and be on the lookout for A Day in the Life of Adam. That one's going to be fun.
And then we're going to throw the kids in with tennis.
Yes.
Yes, that'll be fun.
Action shots and tennis. Going to document that career.
That's going to be fun.
That is going to be sweet.
Well, everybody, this has been the I Love Coaching podcast with myself, Adam, and our guest, Tyler. Go check him out on his Instagram. And you like this podcast? Thank you. We know you did. Go give us a good comment. Go follow us and download this podcast and all the other ones. Until next time, Adam Roach here, Tyler, saying goodbye from the I Love Coaching headquarters. See you bye.
See you bye. I was trying to time up for that.